Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another live. I have something to share with you today that was very present for me today, so I wanted to bring it here to you as well. That is, and this is going to be a little triggering, so I'm already telling you in advance. You don't necessarily need more energy healings. What you actually need is more nervous system capacity. And I will explain. A lot of us in the spiritual community at some point in our journey start glorifying the spirit world and the energetic realms more than we accept and cherish and celebrate the very physical and human world. This makes us go like too far out into the ethers, doing energy healings and activations and connecting with spirit guides and going to other dimensions and all of that. And sometimes we go so far out that our nervous system doesn't have the capacity to handle it all for us to then ground back into our bodies. This happened with me, and I know it has happened to so many of my friends. For people who are highly sensitive, highly open energetically, and highly aware, it's really important that we work on our foundation first. Because when we do a lot of energy work and energy healing and we go too much into the ethers but we are not grounded, this can have a very negative impact on our body, on our relationships, on our nervous system, and on our humanness. So, yeah, you don't need more energy healings. You need more nervous system capacity. It's like a tree trying to spread its branches everywhere, but its roots are not really grounded. That's why if you focus too much on the energy work and you forget the embodiment work, the somatic work, meaning with the body, with the nervous system, you can get very ungrounded to the point of dissociation and to the point of literally frying your nervous system or having your nervous system just completely shut off and shut down. But if you tend to the garden and if you tend to the roots and you have a strong foundation and a strong tree, it will naturally branch out. So instead of focusing on more energy healings, more going into the ethers, more all the things that are unseen in the spiritual realm, the more you actually work on grounding, the more then that also happens naturally. But if you just focus on that without a steady, strong foundation, it can be very dangerous. And I've seen this time and time again. You guys, a few years ago, I was in a container with a friend / sister of mine, and we were doing so much energy work and so much light language, so much talking and connecting with spirit guides, doing energy work and energy healings and quantum work all the time. But the nervous system, the embodiment, the body work was lacking a little. This led to our nervous system not having the capacity to deal with all the energy. And therefore it was really hard to then ground back into our bodies. So for a moment in my journey, after being in this container that was so intense energetically, because we were literally doing energy work all the time, my body and my nervous system shut down. And I had for a few months, for a very long time actually, to disconnect completely from energy healing, spirit guides, energy work, Reiki, radionic table, Ankh healings, quantum work, light language, all of that had to shut down so I could literally ground back the energy into my body. In the spiritual community and on our spiritual path, sometimes we have the tendency to really want to rise up the chakras and become one with everything and explore other dimensions and other beings and past lives and all of that. But we really need to have a strong foundation to handle that. Because if we think spirituality is just about transcending the body, becoming one with everything, seeing how everything is interconnected, and traveling to other dimensions and doing energy work, and we disconnect from our humanness, it can be very dangerous, very isolating, and very dissociative. So it's so important for us to honor our humanness, integrate our ego, and be human. Be human, honor our roots. I was walking back from the beach just before coming live with you, and I was looking at all the trees in the park and all the flowers and all the leaves, and I was like, oh, so happy. And like, I was just like having one of those moments with nature, you know? And then all of a sudden I was like, wait, we are always enjoying the leaves and the branches and the trucks and the trees and the flowers, but we can't really see the roots. And I was like, oh, that's it. The roots are the foundation, but they are not always visible. It's like whenever you see someone, like you're seeing me right now, you're seeing my tree, my branches, my leaves, and my flowers, but you can't see my roots. My roots is the inner work, is the shadow work. Do you get what I'm saying? Wherever you're out and about, in your real life, in social media, wherever it is, you see people's branches and leaves and flowers, but you don't see their roots. Because our roots is our shadow work, our energy work, our inner work. And so this is what I'm saying, that sometimes we think the spiritual path and spiritual enlightenment is about the transcendence and the ascension of energy through the up the chakras, but it's equally about descending and integrating and embodying and bringing all of that spiritual energy and enlightenment and awakening back down into our bodies and integrating it into our daily lives, into our ego, into our personalities. I know sometimes we have the tendency to also think that to have an ego is wrong, to have a personality is wrong because we are just one. But without an ego and without a personality, there are no boundaries and no discernments, and like there are a lot of like dissociation and things happening. It's not about rejecting any of it. Spirituality and enlightenment is not about rejecting the body and rejecting the ego. It's about integrating it all and seeing how it is all connected. So this is why I'm saying that you don't necessarily need more energy healings, you need more nervous system capacity. Because if you work on your foundation, on your roots, on your nervous system capacity, it will naturally lead to you connecting with other things and awakening your energy in your chakras and all of that. But if you just focus on the light language and the energy healings and connecting with spirit guides and traveling to other dimensions and you're not grounded, that is so dangerous. You guys, I went through this myself and I've seen, I don't know, like dozens of my friends and people that I know going through this, where we go so high up, but we're not grounded enough. And at some point, there is like a forced descendance, a forced descending back down into the body. So, this is why I've been, like before this happened with me, I knew nothing, like at all about the nervous system. I literally like didn't know anything about it. And I was forced to learn about it because I could feel that my body was not okay. Something in my body was not okay. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I just knew that something wasn't right. I needed to ground. I needed to regulate. I needed to expand the capacity of my nervous system to then do the energy work, to then integrate all the things I learned here and bring them back down here. This is why right now I am so passionate, you guys, like so passionate. I could talk about this for days, and I will, and we'll get to it. I'm so passionate to share about this because people who are highly sensitive, highly awake, highly aware, highly empathic, they really do need to work on their nervous system. They really do need to work on their foundation so that they can be stable and strong to then branch out and find their abilities and their gifts and their magic and all of that. This is why I created activation. Activation is like the little sanctuary I created for people who are so sensitive and so in tune and so empathetic and so open energetically, and they need a safe space to ground, to reconnect with their bodies, to reconnect with their humanness, to balance the spiritual and the human, the energetic and the physical, the ascension and the descension. This is why we work so deeply with the body and the nervous system. And we also hold space for your light language and for your gifts and for all the magic from the ethers. But we make it in a way where it's safe in your body and it's stable so that you can sustain and expand your capacity to expand even more in the spiritual realms. This is also why I created the 3-day challenge that we're going to have on August 8th, 9th, and 10th. This is starting on Lionsgate, you guys. It's completely free. And we're going to go really deep, and it's going to be both so triggering and so activating, I know, for all of us. I'm going to share my story with you, and every day I'm going to give you a different practice for you to balance opposite energies and emotions and to really integrate the polarity that you might be experiencing. We're going to focus on aliveness and creativity and expression and all of that. Connecting you back to yourself and giving you the nervous system capacity for you to expand, for you to transform, for you to be activated and then also activate others. This is going to be literally life-changing, especially for people who are highly sensitive, highly spiritual, highly aware, highly empathetic, highly open energetically, and also want the grounding and the connection so that you can start really manifesting your dreams, and you honor that your soul and your dreams are part of your soul's path here on earth. They are part of your destiny. They are part of your dharma and your service to yourself and to others. And for that, you need to be really grounded and honor both the spiritual and the human, the energetic and the physical. So this is why I created this free 3-day challenge to really help us balance the physical and the human, and to have the necessary tools so that when something comes up, like an emotion, a trigger, a challenge, we know exactly what to do because we have the tools. And it's like something shows up and you have the tool and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that, and you apply it. This is why I'm creating this, to create this safe space, to give you the tools for you to face challenges in your life and to see them as literally opportunities to transform rather than as something that is pulling you down or blocking you or going into victimhood and all of that. Whenever there's a challenge, there's an activation. This is why activation is called activation. This kind of just came to me. I didn't even think about that before. That literally just came to me. That's why activation is called activation, because whenever there is a challenge, there is an activation. That just came. Whoa. Just had a moment right now. And so instead of seeing challenges as something that is blocking, as that we cannot go further, we see that this is a transformational moment. So what is the universe showing me? How can I weave energy? Because guess what, you guys? I'm so glad I remembered to share this. Sometimes we think that energy healing is about, and being an energy weaver is about being in the ethers and like doing Reiki and healing people and all of that. But working with our emotions and our nervous system is the true energy healing. This is what weaving energy really is when life like presents you a challenge or something that looks like a block, and you, like a magician, use your wands, which is a tool that you have to shift the energy of the emotion or of the situation and turn that challenge into an opportunity, into an activation, into your next level. Because whenever we face a challenge and we like stay there and it's like there's a wall that you cannot move past, then you stay there. But when you realize that the wall is not something to keep you from something, it's something for you to climb, then things change. And you start seeing challenges as opportunities, as activations, as steps towards your next level and your next level and your next level. And this changes everything. This is a true energy weaving. Is weaving emotions, weaving the energy of our emotions. Feeling grief and learning the gift that grief presents you to move it and transform it into something else. Receiving the gift of anxiety, of loss, of stress, of whatever it is, seeing what it can, like what is the potentiality of this emotion and transforming that energy. This is why it's energy weaving, transforming that energy into creation, into creativity. This is alchemy. This is emotional alchemy, and emotions are energy in motion. So when we are alchemizing emotions, we are literally magicians weaving energy. This is literally magic. Sometimes we think magic is about making something appear out of nowhere or like doing all these extravagant, weird things. But magic is the alchemy of our emotions. To be given the gift of an emotion, and instead of like being lost or blocked or whatever by it, we see that that is literally like fire, that's water, that's literally energy that you get to mold and weave and then create something from it. An emotion that comes up that is uncomfortable is not necessarily a block. It's an opportunity for alchemy. And emotional alchemy is energy healing. You guys, this is exactly what I'm going to share with you on our 3-day challenge on August 8th, 9th, and 10th, starting on Lionsgate. Completely free, you guys. And I promise you that if you're there, fully present, and you give yourself to it, I promise you, it will be completely life-changing. So I guess that's it for today, my loves. Thank you and bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow.